Hey y'all, what's happening? Monday morning, April 26, 2021. Just checking in as I do on Monday mornings, because what we do is we call this Monday morning motivation. And that's the time where I share with you some quick thoughts, just something to get you rocking and rolling and moving along for the rest of your week, really to help charge you up and help you rethink how you've operated, not just on the weekend, but in the past, and how you can operate differently today. Do me a favor. You see this number that's right above my head. If you want to get in touch with me, if you want to share some thoughts, some ideas, and even get a quick response and motivation, go ahead and send me a text, 410-936-4049. That's 410-936-4049. For those of you that are on Instagram, go ahead and do that. Woman of God, what's happening? Good morning to you. Let me see if I can wave to some other people. Your infinite power. Hey, how you doing this morning? So this morning, as we've been doing on Monday mornings, just sharing a quote or a thought that resonated with me this morning, and wanting to share that with you so that you can go through the rest of your week with a different focus in mind. So this morning's quote comes from Winston Churchill, and it says, "The pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees opportunity in every difficulty." I'll read that one more time. The pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees opportunity in every difficulty. Have you ever been around those people who every time something comes up, they say, we can't do this, or we shouldn't do that? That's going to be hard, right? And a lot of times it's easy for us to see complainers, because, you know, it's pretty clear who a whiner or a complainer are or is, right? But in a lot of cases, here's something that a lot of people say. Yeah, in my opinion, we shouldn't do this. Right? In my opinion, we shouldn't do that. Right? And that's not a bad thing. And those people aren't necessarily bad people. But our language says quite a bit about how we operate day to day. And so I share this quote because I've got to ask myself the question every day as I speak: does my language convey opportunity, or does my language convey negativity? Do I constantly say things like, oh, I can't afford this, or I can't do that, right? If I continue to use that type of language, then that's kind of the space of scarcity, right? That's this space. What's going on, Sascali? That's this space of I create these limits for myself. But if I'm an optimist, or if I see things differently, instead of saying I can't afford this or I can't do that, we change our language to one of choice, right? At this time, that doesn't work, or I choose not to prioritize that right now, right? Or I'm choosing to prioritize something else. I'm focused on this right now. Here's what I'm building right now. Here's what I'm doing. Here's what I see for the future. If I change my language to a language of choice, if I change my language to a language of prioritization, if I change my language to a language of, listen, I am in control of what I do, how I operate, how I show up, what I see, each day, then that frames our attitude. That frames how we show up each day differently, rather than being in a space of, I can't do this today. Here's what happens. Every time I say, I can't do this, every time I say, I can't afford this, every time I say this, the world, it feels like the world is against you. It feels like you've got no power, no control, no authority, no say in how your life operates. But that's just not true. That's just not true, right? Yeah, there's some things that we have no hands-on control over, right? There's some things that we have no hands-on control over. However, I have control over my attitude and my response to every single doggone second and moment that happens in my day. Right? And if I continue to repeat certain language, if I continue to speak in a way that says and embraces opportunity, then when the challenging parts come, then when the difficulty happens, what do you think comes out of me first? Right? And sometimes we see people in our lives, or we see people and we see ourselves and we see people repeating or sharing negative thoughts or negative ideas. Is it just that they are terrible people? No, it's not that they're terrible people. It's just that in their minds and even with their mouths, they've continued to practice certain things. See, when I was a kid, my mom used to have me get up in the morning to practice piano. Right. And I would hate it I hated it for a little while because I had to get up early. So notice that language. I had to get up early. Right. So I'm going to share two things here. I had to get up early. A lot of times we say, I have to pick up my kids. I have to do this. I have to do that. I have to do that. No, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. You choose to do things. I don't have to do anything. Here's what I have framed my language as these days. Instead of I have to do this, even if it's something simple, it's I get to do this. My goodness, I get to wake my kids up in the morning. I get to take my kids to school, right? I get to hang out with my wife. I get to run my business each day. I get to run or have a meeting with my people each morning. Right? I get to have breakfast. I get to exercise. I get to have difficult conversations. I get to. Yeah, it's a blessing. It's a privilege. And if I refocus my language around I get to do this thing, oh my gosh, that's so much different than obligation or being out of control. So let me get back to the piano lesson for just a second here. So I would practice in the morning, and my mom would say to me, practice makes perfect. And you've heard this statement, practice makes perfect, right? Hey, Dorian, how you doing? Happy Monday morning to you. You've heard the statement, practice makes perfect. But I want to reframe that a little bit and say that practice doesn't make perfect. Here's why. What if you're practicing the wrong thing? What if you're practicing the wrong thing? Then you keep practicing the wrong thing. And when it hits the fan, or when things get challenging, or when you get pressured, or when stress happens, the wrong thing is what comes out. So let's take that to our space of our language and maybe the words that we utter each day. If I continually utter words of negativity, if I continue to utter words of insecurity, if I continue to utter words of loss of control, scarcity, or lack, then when I get pressurized, what do you think is going to come out? What's going to come out is just what I've practiced. So practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanent. Practice makes permanent. So if I want to make something permanent, what do? I decide that the language that I use, I decide the words that I say, I decide the way that I share my expressions each day. I decide that what I speak each day is going to be something that is one of positivity and of opportunity. So I go back to Winston Churchill's quote here right now. The pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity, but the optimist sees opportunity in every difficulty. So as I look at my tasks, as I look at my challenges, as I look at what I have to do each day, as I look at everything that has happened to me over the last day or two, or the things that I have upcoming this week, what do I see? What do I see? Do I see opportunity, or do I see difficulty? Right? Practice, habits, character. Yeah, the more that you practice something, it becomes a habit, and those habits are what form your character. Right? So what do I see? Here's the thing. There's a book that I have that I write in every morning. It's the Full Focus Planner by Michael Hyatt. I write in it every morning, and I write down the top 3 things that I must do. Actually, let me even change my language. What are the top 3 things that I get to do that day? Right? Here's what that does. It allows me to think ahead about my day. It allows me to pre-plan my day. It allows me to, and here's an important thing. It allows me to pre-visualize my day. Here's what a lot of us do. We just go into our day and we let the day run us. Whatever happens, happens. We just allow the day to kind of take us like a boat on the water without any engine or without any oar or without any rudder. Just the waves kind of take us along, right? A lot of us do that with our day. As our day rolls, so do we. And we don't have the opportunity or give ourselves the opportunity to visualize or preset or pre-visualize each day. If I'm able to pre-visualize my day, if I'm able to say, hey, these are the things that I want to accomplish. These are the things that I'm set for today. These are the opportunities that I aim to bring to life today. If I do that with each day, then I can begin to also preset the response that I have as challenges come up. As a matter of fact, I can write down what I want to do that day, and then I can write down, I can look and think and say, you know what are some things that may derail this? Or what are some things that may take this off course today? What could happen that could cause this to go a little bit left today? And if I understand that, if I'm prepared for that, if I see that, then I say, okay, yep, how will I respond? What's my fail safe? What is my response to this particular behavior? Wow. Thank you, woman of God, this morning, right? What is my response to this particular situation or circumstance? So if I'm looking, if I'm seeing, if I'm visualizing what my day is, then it's much easier for me to say, yeah, this is how I'm going to respond. And again, let's get back to the practice makes permanent thing. The more that I practice that, the more that I visualize it, the more that I anticipate my response, the more that I execute that response. Okay. And the more that I play it in my head, here's what happens. A lot of times we respond negatively because when we respond, that's the first time that we're thinking about that thing. Right? If something stressful happens, but I've been practicing it and playing it over and over in my head prior to that, or even physically prior to that, that improves the likelihood of me responding to that pressure, that stress, that situation in a more positive manner. See, we operate or we respond negatively because we don't play the positive in our minds, right? We respond negatively because we haven't pre-planned or visualized the positive response in our minds. So as you create this week, as you create this week, there's this book that I read years ago by a guy named Steve Chandler. It's called 100 Ways to Motivate Yourself. And he said in that book, we are in one of two places always. We are always either in reaction or creation. Same letters. You just decide where you're going to put the C, right? You're always either in reaction or creation. So what are you going to be? Where are you going to be? How are you going to operate? How are you going to respond? Are you going to react or are you going to create? Are you going to be in reaction or are you going to be in creation? So listen, if you see opportunity, then that is creation mode. If you see difficulty, then you're in reaction. Chances are you're thinking about things and you're already setting up fears in your mind that it's going to break, not work, not be advantageous for you, or it's going to end up in a place that is going to hurt you, right? And so hurt and pain is not always a bad thing. Hurt and pain in many cases is an opportunity for your own growth. I use this example all the time. You go to the gym and you do push-ups, or you lift weights, or you do exercises, and your muscles become sore because the fibers are ripping, they're tearing micro tears in order to make room for muscles that are larger, bigger, stronger, able to handle more. Right? So all pain is not a bad thing. And if I always see pain as difficulty only, then I'm missing the boat. I'm missing the opportunity. Pain is most times an opportunity for growth. So that's what we've got this morning. That's what we got. The pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity, but the optimist sees opportunity in every difficulty. What are you? Are you a pessimist or an optimist? Do you see opportunity or do you see difficulty? Woman of God, you're asking, can I send the book title and the author name to me? The book title is 100 Ways to Motivate Yourself, and the author is Steve Chandler. Okay? 100 Ways to Motivate Yourself, and the author is Steve Chandler. All right. So listen, make sure if you have any thoughts, if you want to get on the list, if you want to get connected, text 410-936-4049 if you're above my head. This week also, for those of you that listen, if you've decided that you want to change your world, if you've decided that you wanted to share your story even more effectively, and you want to do that without fear, without feeling like you're not doing the right thing, I want you to join me starting this coming Sunday, May 2nd, in the Confident on Camera Challenge. Okay. Join me in the Confident on Camera Challenge. Go to confidentoncamerachallenge.com and get set up, get signed up there, because we're going to be going through how you can structure your stories. We're going to be going through how you can, the fundamentals of showing up with authenticity, with confidence on camera, so that your message can stand front and center and you can connect with people, engage with them, and then ultimately transform and move them to action. All right. So we want you to get signed up for the Confident on Camera Challenge. Join me 5 days, 5 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days for the Confident on Camera Challenge. Go to confidentoncamerachallenge.com and let's get connected there. All right. So listen, I will see y'all. Hey, Kevin Wayne Johnson, what's going on, brother? Good to see you today, man. Join me for the Confident on Camera Challenge by going to confidentoncamerachallenge.com. Again, here we are on Monday, April 26th. This is your Monday morning motivation. We do this every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we do that for about 15, 16 minutes, just to give you some get up and go for the week. Hopefully today you were able to get some get up and go. Remember, y'all, see you next week. Make sure that your week is amazing. Everything that happens to you in life is your stuff. Your stuff is your story. Ooh, yeah. And your story deserves a stage. Peace out. I'll see you next week, Monday, for Monday Morning Motivation.